Yo, what is going on? I come here to bring you the largest clone base or largest MOC for that matter, that I have ever made. And as you can tell from the title, it is a massive clone base on the planet of Thyferra. And if you don't know, Thyferra is the homeworld of Bacta. There are a special type of fungi / mushroom that grow on the planet that they'll take and they'll kind of like chemically separate that mushroom into some molecular compounds. And one of those molecular compounds that comes out of that is the actual Bacta itself, which is kind of like this red goo. Now they mix that with a medium, and we'll all see that on the inside of the clone base because this does have a Bacta refinery on it. So with that being said, let's get into this overhead shot and start going through the MOC. And here it is, the largest MOC I have ever made. As you can see, there's kind of three sections here. We have the main terrain. Up here we have the top of the mountain with a hangar bay, and then everything below inside the mountain is the clone base, and you can kind of see some lights peeking through. So let's get right into the story, and then we'll get right on into dissecting the base. All right, so since this is kind of deep in the jungle, the clones don't really suspect that the droids will be sneaking up on them. So we have a small squadron of droids here. They are the jungle droids. We got the captain back there with a antenna on his backpack, and we got a couple B2 super battle droids marching through underneath these trees, completed with vines and some kind of fruit. And then over here, as you see, we have some commando droids that kind of grappled up onto the mountain and are climbing up. You got that one right there that's helping the one climbing up. And then we got another commando droid up here. That's actually the captain. And it looks like he's going to take out that ATRT. So it's kind of like they're going to do an ambush. They have no idea it's coming. So going into the terrain, as you see, this is the most 3 stem grass pieces I have ever placed. I can't even begin to tell you how many there are, but it was a pain to put all of these down. But since it's very jungly, and I know jungles have a lot of colors, I tried to add some colors in there. We got some rose patches. I don't know what kind of flowers there are, but we got coral there. We got some hot pink or medium lavender. I don't know what Lego calls them. Up there, we got some lavender. We got some more coral over there. We even got a little bit of red. Now, like I said, Bacta is made from like a fungus. So randomly throughout, I have some patches of, I don't know, fungi growth with some mushrooms, which you'll see more of on the inside of the base. And they're just kind of randomly put out. We got some on the other side of the tree there. So very abundant because, I mean, this is the home world, so I feel like there would be a lot. We got 3 trees. Like I already said, they have a bunch of vines on them, as you see. I could get that to focus. We got some, I did a new tree technique here. Got some side branches. And then this tree over here is probably one of my favorites. It's growing out of the trunk at an angle and then coming up. And then more vines. As you see on the mountain, which is absolutely huge, biggest mountain I've ever made, we got some kind of like moss or more fungi, whatever you want to call the olive green on the mountain. And then up top here is the clone base. Now, I'll rotate the back around so that we can get a better look up there, and then we can look at the interior of the hangar bay. And then once it's turned around, we can actually see the whole interior of the back because I have left it open, as you can see. So give me a second. I'll turn this MOC around and then we'll take a look. All right, so I have turned the MOC around so we can take a better look at up there. And then we can look on the inside of the base. Now, starting off, as you see, we have continued the patches of fungi, kind of like down there. But the grass is not as dense as down there. And I kind of did that because this is a high traffic area. As you see, the hangar has the Arabesh number 2 on it, symbolizing that there's more kind of hangar bays. So up here, there'd be a lot of walking, so it wouldn't be as dense down there. Now we have some 2/12 walking, as well as I just used a Phase 2 gunner as the ATRT pilot. These are a custom ATRT design, not designed by me. And off the top of my head, I can't remember who designed them, but I will put a link down in the description below for credit and if you guys are interested in building these. So on the base here, as you see, we have some containers on the outside of the building. And this one right here is from Battlefront 2. And over here, I don't know quite what this could be, but it's kind of burning or something. Got a little control panel there. As you can see, smoke coming out of it, and then there's a pipe going onto the inside. Now, let's go over the roof real quick. Roof's a real basic design. It's got two, I don't know what you want to call these, little bump ups with just kind of ventilation and stuff. We got some antenna array there and a, I don't know, intergalactic comm satellite or something there, which is some greebling around. Now, there is the commando droid that is taking aim at this ATRT. So, I wonder how that's going to plan out. Now, if we look at the exterior of this hangar base, you can see we have some windows that go along the outside using some arch pieces and some snot technique. I really liked doing that. Now, this hangar door actually slide open and you can see the inside. Now, the roof is also removable. So I'll go ahead, I'll remove that roof and we'll take a deep dive into the hangar bay. And alrighty, just like that, the roof is off and we can see the inside of the hangar bay. Now this here, let me grab the door. This here is where, oh my bad, the door would slide in. And it's held together, or it kind of stays on its track with some studs here. And then I have a plate on the bottom of the roof that kind of keeps it close. But as you see, it is a dark tan terrain on the outside, kind of muddy, and it's been kind of, I don't want to say leaking in, but kind of working its way into the base. As you see here, we have a 501st. That's because in the base we have Anakin, Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, and Rex. So we got the 212th and the 501st here. We got another gunner who is fueling up his ATRT and is going to take it out for a spin. We have that 501st, which is putting a box onto the shelf along with a bunch of other boxes. Now you see this refueling center here. We have the fuel tanks right there that goes into this little computer or like a flow module or something. The little shut-off switch, and then it goes over to this. And on the other side, there's another shut-off switch, and it leads out into those hoses we can just hook up. Now here as well, we have two BARC speeder bikes. These are the ones from the 2014 Saluka My Battle Pack. I just replicated it. And it unfortunately does not have the stickers, but that is A-okay. We do have here, though, a mechanic who is a clone who is working on the BARC speeder. And you can see he's got a bunch of tools out here. You have the front ski, or whatever you want to call those, airfoil. We got some drills. He's taking his hat off, so he must be mad. We got some scissors for some reason, even a lightsaber, and then a weld, like a, I don't know, a acetylene torch or something. Now, these BARC speeders are elevated on a platform just for quick dispatch or something. And it looks like this 501st is maybe hopping onto this BARC speeder bike. I don't know. He's saying what's up to that Phase 2 gunner over there. And then you see we got parking spots for the ATRTs. And then for some reason, there is a container an open container of oil, maybe for like an oil change or something. There's the override switch on the door, but over here on the roof, we can see, or not on the roof, on the wall, we can see a sensor that's leading down into the floor with some conduit that would automatically open and close the door if it senses something. All right, now let's get down into the first layer of the base, and then we'll work our way up to the second layer, or the second floor of the base. This here is the third floor of the base. All right, we're gonna start off with the central command of the base. As you see, we have R2-D2, we have Ahsoka Tano, the Padawan Ahsoka Tano, but I put the Siege of Mandalore face on. We have Anakin Skywalker that has the Harry Potter Sirius black hair, if it would focus. Kind of signify his mullet a little bit better. We already went over R2-D2. We do have Obi-Wan Kenobi here with a worried look on his face. That's because they are overlooking this hologram table, and it looks like they can somewhat see some separatists, signified by the red, maybe flying in onto Thyferra to plan an attack, but they do not know about the clones, or my bad, they do not know about the droids and the commando droids that are about to strike. Now we can take this off, and then you can see we have Phase 2 Rex, who is also at the meeting, if it would focus. We have him with his blonde hair, and he's looking at the two clone officers there that are telling him what's on their screens. Just some screenless displays. And then on the very back, as you can see, way back there, we have another clone officer that's looking at a bigger display. I don't know, maybe watching a bunch of different camera feeds or something. Over here on this wall, looks like we have some red pipes, could be used for water or like a fire suppression system. Over here, we just have more greebling on the walls, some conduit. In the very back there, we can see some more screens and levers and stuff. A conduit that runs all the way through and even through the wall, as you can see, kind of back and over there, and it does that on both sides. Now, let me move these figures out of the way, and we'll go to the next room over, which is kind of like the armory room. So we got some electro staffs up here. We have a spinning gun rack that has all the DC-15, what are those, A's? And then along the wall here, we have some more DC-15As, and in the very back, if it would focus, we have these smaller DC-15S's. Just some shelves along the back. Here we have a spot for thermal detonators. This is the only room in this base that doesn't have lights. And then there we have a minigun on the wall. Like I said about the lights, we have 4 lights in here. There is a little hallway back over there, which I'll turn the MOC around yet again, and we can look at that. It's more of like a cargo hold. And then we'll go on to the big room over here. So let me turn this around so we can see that hallway, and then we'll go from there. Alrighty guys, this here is the hallway that leads to that control room over there. As you see, we have a 212th trooper that's just walking down it. We do have some crates on either side. As you see on the floor, we have some tiling representing where they need to go. Looks like we're getting a little overflowed. Now, there is a conduit that we did talk about that goes through the wall there. It goes over, up, and that way. And we have another one that comes through right here and goes over the ray shielded door and continues that way. Here we have a dark green astromech that does have the 3rd leg just rolling around. And then here is the elevator, which we'll get to in a moment. We'll go over the 2nd floor and then go back to the elevator. All right, and here is the actual Bacta refinery room. This was my most favorite room to build in this whole MOC. It is It is 2 stories tall. We have the main kind of mixing station here. So the blue is actually the Bacta medium, which is majority of what we see. And then the red is what's actually produced by the fungi. So they mix, I can't remember the mixture off the top of my head, but they mix majority of the medium with a little bit of the healing fungi together in this, what looks like a concrete mixer. And as you see, we have various shut-off valves and pipes leading to it. We have this guy that's monitoring maybe some additive that's in this fuel tank. We got some more stuff behind him. I don't know what this could be, a little communications or something on the wall. We have some more shelves. Back here, we have this guy that's kind of looking at the finished product, maybe seeing if it's the right purity. On the back wall, you can see we have some more conduit, the same conduit that runs across the whole thing, and like we saw over there in that hallway, leading to an electrical panel. And off that same conduit, we have another display that is looking over the actual hydroponic fungi that they're growing. So they have the fungi from the outside, and they're trying to optimize growing the mushrooms on the inside using hydroponics. And as you see, we have the shutoff valve up there. We got some more stuff sticking through the wall, some pipes and a ventilation fan. And then we have some more shelves, more displays and control centers. As you see, this big yellow line symbolizes hazard, don't step over. It looks like we have a little spill there coming from the actual Bacta medium tank. Now, there are 2 pipes that come out of the top. We have this one that comes up and comes towards the camera, and that is because this base obviously doesn't stop off here. It continues going towards you guys, and there might be the packaging plant or kind of like the storage area on this side. So that's probably where that's going. And then this pipe here is coming up at 90s, goes along the wall, and it goes into the med bay, goes to this module that's on the wall, and actually feeds the Bacta tanks that are being in use. As you see, we have a clone trooper here who must have gotten injured somehow, signifying by the red light that he is not done. And then we have a Bacta tank over there that is empty, and it's got a green light. Here we have the new Kaminoan minifigure. Thought that'd be a great addition. We got a little microscope and a bunch of different, I don't know, medications or stuff. More displays on the wall that she is monitoring. We have a big window right here that looks out into this kind of refinery section, just to give the medical patients something to look forward to. Or not maybe look forward to, but something to ease their mind. That clone trooper there has one of his helmets here, and the other helmet belongs to a clone trooper that is back there on the medical bed with looks like a heartbeat of 54, so that's not good. And then we have a x-ray, looks like he has a broken rib. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. We do have IV, little IV hangers, and it looks like it's going into his arm. And this B1 medical droid, or is it a B1 medical droid? Anyway, this medical droid looks like he's going to go give him a shot. And then back here, it's kind of hard to see. We do have an operating table with a light and a bunch of different holograms and a kind of, I don't know, drawer in the wall. I wonder if we can get a good shot through the window. It's not the greatest, but you can kind of see there's the bed. And then coming out of the medical bay, we have the clone barracks. Now, as you can see, we have 4 clones here, 350 and 1212. And looks like they're sitting and they must be watching some sort of sports or something. It might be pod racing, but it also might be kind of a HoloNet update. We don't know because, I mean, there's nothing on it. But they seem to be excited. They're all raising their hands. You got this guy holding a broom. We have two bunks, 4 each, so 8 beds in here. Obviously, this would continue much more this way, but limited space. We have a chest there, which has about the most I do for Easter eggs. I'm not a fan of Easter eggs. We have a Geonosian droid head and one of the old blasters. So we'll put that back. Looks like that guy, his helmet is up there on his bunk. That guy, I don't know where his helmet went. And then he's resting up against his. Now, this barracks would be incomplete if there wasn't some sort of posters or stuff on the wall. So I have various posters on the wall. We got some stuff from like Ninjago, but that's not supposed to be Ninjago. It's supposed to be like some Star Wars language. We have a map. We have another weird language. Another map back there. You can kind of see it if it would focus, but there's like a moose. Obviously, that's not supposed to be a moose. It's supposed to be something else. We have more Ninjago stuff there in the back, but keep in mind, it's not supposed to be Ninjago. Looks like a postcard from somewhere. We have right there some, looks like Nabooian writing. I think it's called, was it Futhark or something like that? As you see, we also have some conduit coming up to what looks like a junction box and then continues over along the back wall, then goes up. It might be for that camera that's over there. Who knows? Let me turn this MOC around, get a better angle, and then we can take a better look at that elevator. Alrighty, guys, here is the elevator. So it's not a fully functional one. It's just Technic pins. So here, obviously, is the base floor. More yellow tiling and lights to represent kind of like a hazard or like a caution. We have the control module. I guess this is a turbo lift. My bad. This is an elevator. So we have 3 kind of preset locations for this. We have this one, obviously, for the first floor. And then right there, just to kind of show that it does go up. And then the third and final position is right there. So they can get off here in the hangar bay. Maybe he's coming up here to watch the news or sports game or whatever on. Or maybe he's going down below to get orders from Rex or something. Who knows? As you see, because we didn't go over this, we have kind of like a, I don't know, bigger lights. They're not quite the same as these, which are dome lights. These are kind of more panel lighting, and they're brighter in a different color. Now these are, oh, there we go. These are controlled by hidden cabinets here in the actual rock structure. So this one down here controls the first floor, the entirety of the first floor. And then we have a second cabinet here, a little bit smaller, and this controls all of the second floor, and that includes the actual Bacta refinery area. So I originally built this MOC without the intentions of lights, and I've decided halfway through the build that I'm going to rip it apart and put lights in because it might look cool. And I actually really like the way the lights turned out. The ones in the med bay are a little dim for some reason. I don't know why, but that's all right. So that is the clone base on Thyferra. There's the back side of the hangar bay if you guys want another look. But let's put everything back on, the roof back on, and get into the outro. I wanted to give you guys this look real quick. This is with the door closed in the hangar bay. Now, the 2 is backwards, so I know that's not ideal, but there is the simple plate track I have there on the roof. So, there's that. Now let's get into the outro. Alrighty, guys. That was my clone base on Thyferra. I hope you guys enjoyed, because I know I did. This is the most fun I've ever had making a MOC, most detailed MOC, biggest MOC. I absolutely enjoyed it. I did have a building series on it, but I don't even want to say it was a series. I had one episode and then I completely forgot about it and just continued building. And then there was a point about halfway through the build where I stopped and I did not touch it for like a year and a half. And then very recently, I was like, you know what? I got to finish this. I want to show you guys this. So I finished building it, and then here we are. Now, once this is done, I'll go back to some, I don't want to say regularly scheduled mini MOCs, but mini MOCs will be more frequent. I haven't figured out quite how I want to do that yet, but just know that I will have more Star Wars related content on my channel. So with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy, and this is Clone Production Studios signing off.